All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another HST student highlight. Today we have Kyle with us. Man, I'm super excited about this conversation. So Kyle, just tell us the basics, where you live in, what are you studying, and kind of how do you think God is serving you in this moment?
Absolutely. I'm living in Omaha, Nebraska, so I'm one of the distance learners, and I started just this last summer, actually, and then I'm enrolled basically full time this fall. But um, I have loved it so far. It's been extremely challenging. It's an incredible school. I think as far as just where God is calling me, I definitely am more on the research and content end. I definitely think in order to be someone who is contributing as far as like in the future, there's just a lot of work you got to put yourself through. And so I definitely feel like Harding it was attractive for that reason and has been pushing me. I am by trade a marriage and family therapist. So I work in private practice
Mm.
and specialize in trauma. And so what I'm working to do is to become equipped to marry the theology and the psychology together at the next level,
Wow.
specifically when it comes to trauma. So Harding is just, I mean, I think a great place to help facilitate that.
Mm. That sounds incredible. I can't wait to see your research and what comes from this. Could you remind me about your family and kind of your wife and kids?
Yeah, yeah. So from Kansas City, my wife's from here. So her whole family's here and they are incredibly supportive. Um, my wife and I have been married going on 8 years. I do private practice. My wife works at the hospital as a physician assistant. She does cardiothoracic surgery.
Oh,
Um,
my wife's
and
a PA.
so, oh, is she?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they are so man. They are PAs are incredible.
Mm.
Man, they're
I'll tell my wife you said that. It was PA week last week, so she
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Um, and then we just so my our son, Shay, he is a little over a year old.
Mm.
So we have a lot of we've been married for a little bit, but becoming a dad amidst COVID, amidst everything going, it's been wild. It's
Yeah.
been crazy. But I love my son and I get to stay home with him as
Mm.
well while I'm doing this too. So yeah, it's incredible.
That's that's a lot going on for you. 1 year old, COVID, HST courses. That's man. I'm very impressed. Is your private practice kind of all virtual now, or can you be in person?
Oh, I went back. I was virtual for probably March through part of July.
Oh,
Then went back, the insurance regulations and so forth like that stiffened. And so, and plus everyone, I wanted to get back, my clients wanted to get back. But I have a very small percentage that are still virtual.
mm, mm. That's interesting. So you mentioned you have this kind of very not very specific, but you have kind of your goal in mind for your studies with HST. How did you decide on HST? Kind of what was your journey? How did you hear about um, Harding School of Theology in Memphis, Tennessee?
Well, I tell you, it was interesting. So the school that I was at before had a sort of direct line to a different Church of Christ university, and I was accepted into that, and I was going to do my MDiv in that. However, some things kind of happened, and I just was like, I don't know. And so I looked at Harding because I would always heard about Harding's reputation. We had some people in my church, a couple of guys, my senior pastor and another guy on the board. They took a class at Harding, and they were like, "Yep, super challenging." And then just by chance, I'm like, "Well, let me check out Harding. Let me contact them." I got in contact with Matt Carter, and then they were just super accommodating to the journey,
Mhm.
and in every way. And then I was like, "Huh, this makes more sense," and it really did. And so, anyways, it really I think that one of the biggest things too was just the HST live kind of interaction that we get to have. The school I was at before, everything was recorded and it
Mm.
was over, Blackboard and chats and stuff. But what's been crazy is just how interactive and accessible my instructors and classmates have been. So that's why I chose it. It was kind of a mystery. I mean, it's certainly God,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, it was kind of one of those things.
Yeah, that's a cool story. I remember we just took Old Testament together this summer with Dr. Holly. It was a week intensive.
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of hesitant about a week intensive on Zoom. You know, it's a lot of Zoom time, but I really enjoyed it because, well, and I get to see Dr. Holly when we were on campus, but you know, it's a great time in between breaks, kind of ask him another question, interact with students. So, yeah, there you can really, I think, get to know people in intensives and online more than I think what most people think you can. So that's really
Mhm.
cool that it's been a blessing for you. Okay, so this will be really, I'm really interested to hear your answer with this, kind of being in the trauma and therapy world. But what has been some habits or practices that have kept you spiritually healthy during COVID and maybe just in life in general?
Prayer. So I kind of just this summer, I think it was earlier this summer, I just kind of made a commitment. It's like I'm gonna go and be on, prayer walks daily with God,
Mm,
and just committing to prayer, walking with God. And it's just hard to walk with God when you don't pray.
yes.
And so I look forward to even kind of taking it higher. But COVID kind of shut that down even for a while. It was like, don't go outside. Don't, everybody has their own beliefs about it. But I was like, well, I got to do this. And that, and also relationships. COVID also, and it's not COVID's fault, but um, it's kind of one of those things where COVID has kind of been anti-relational in a way.
Mm,
And so it's just even more of an excuse to not connect with people and get discipling if it's just easier, But I've stayed in there with people weekly, got brothers in my life on a daily basis I talk to and things like that. So um I mean, those would just be a couple of the things that I've done. I mean, it and then with the church, finding new ways to serve. Like I've gotten, passionate about videography and stuff, just helping the church out with that. So just finding different ways to serve the church has kept me in the loop as well.
yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think key too because um, it takes creativity, right? To like the videography stuff. And right now to serve the church, it takes a lot of creativity and you got to think outside of the box, which I think there's a kind of a holy imagination there. I think when we try to be creative and we're trying to serve our local church, it's kind of going out in faith to say, I'm going to try. It might be new, it might be different, it might not work, but I'm going to faithfully serve and believe God is in that trying and in that serving.
Hmm.
So that's really good. I like that.
I like that holy imagination. That's I'm going to use that.
Yeah, I think I am pretty sure Eugene Peterson says that he did a commentary on Revelation. It's called Reverse Thunder, and I think I stole that from him. So,
Wow.
but yeah, it's a great resource if you want to need it or talking about Revelation. Okay, so now we are going to do our. Thank you so much, Kyle. This has been really enlightening, and I love just hearing the different stories of our students at HST. So we're going to do our speed round questions. These are real quick. This first one, answer and then give a kind of a one sentence why. So if you could eat dinner with someone from the Bible besides Jesus, who would it be and why?
Joseph.
Okay, why? Now I think that's three weeks in a row that we've heard Joseph.
Oh,
So
are you serious? That's so
yeah,
funny. Joseph is my next to Jesus. Um, my favorite dude in the Bible. Just so many things with him. I think it's changing a little bit, but yeah,
hmm.
I'd say Joseph.
Okay, very cool. What is a favorite book that you've read this year, either in school or out of school?
Oh man, there's so many. I There was a book by Ellen Davis that we had to read this summer.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
The agriculture. Oh gosh,
Scripture and
theology.
agriculture.
Huh?
Was it scripture and agriculture? I can't.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Forgettable name, really, but just that book convicted the tar out of me. And I'm like, whoa, so food and all those different environmental things have biblical and spiritual implications. I didn't realize. I'm like, wow, that one got me.
Yeah, that was I was the same way. I was like, oh man, this is like hitting right home. That's one I think I'm gonna have to reread pretty soon. There's so many parts you gotta have to chew back over. Okay, I think this might be my favorite question. Describe the year 2020 in one word.
Oh man. humbling.
Mm, yeah, I like that. I like that. That's good. Humbling. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, it's a tie. Dang, I'm an 80s baby too. So this one's tough. Like I love the 90s, but I love the 80s. Um, I'm struggling between like Goonies
Mm,
and Hook and Twister and Contact. Gosh. Oh man. I'll probably go with Hook. Home
okay.
Alone's up there too. I'll just say Hook.
Okay.
That as a kid, man, that summed it up for me.
So good. Yeah. Well, and Christmas is getting coming up close, so we can celebrate Home Alone later. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Last one. What do you love about the city you live in?
There's incredible opportunity.
Hmm.
I mean, this city is very divided, not like in a hostility sense, but it's a very divided city, very almost segregated city.
Mm,
Um, and so the opportunities that I believe that here are here for integration in the church to really bring about integration and help to marry certain things together I mean, it's unparalleled, I think, here in Omaha.
wow, that is interesting. That is really interesting. Man, Kyle, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me.
Absolutely.
Those watching, we encourage you to pray for Kyle and his ministry and what and ways in which God will use him in the future. We're so glad that you're at HST and part of our student body. So it's good to see you, Kyle.
Bless you.